politicians, oligarchs, or other figures who benefit from the suffering of the people. The fact that we
A former Philippine finance official describes the government spending plan for next year the most corrupt in history. Economist Cielo Magno joined opposition to budget cuts for key government programs, calling it anti-Filipino. Magno also scored the 50 billion peso cut for the conditional cash transfer program and the 10 billion peso reduction for the education department's outlay for next year. For Magno, the 2025 budget prioritizes the interests of politicians and not the public.
Yung DPWH na hindi naman nanghihingi ng dagdag na budget ay binigyan ng karagdagang 289 billion pesos. At ang budget ng Senado, dinagdagan ng 1 billion. Ang budget ng House of Representatives, 18.8 billion pesos. So hindi lang po PhilHealth ang problema ng 2025 budget. Ang problema natin ay yung kabuuan ng budget at ano yung kinakatawan nito. At naniniwala po tayo na ito na po ata ang pinaka-corrupt na budget sa history ng Pilipinas.
Senate President Francis Escudero, however, believes there's still a way to fix the budget mess. Escudero explains on the part of the DepEd it has accumulated over 36 billion pesos in unused funds from 2022 to this year that the President can tap to make up for the budget reduction. Citing data submitted to the Senate, Escudero pointed out that in 2022, the agency earmarked over 13 billion pesos for its computerization program, but it didn't use about 10 billion pesos. In 2023, only half of the over 20 billion peso budget was used. This year, about 15 billion of the 18 billion pesos earmarked was untouched. Escudero notes that unless the 2022 fund is used, it will revert to the Treasury. The Senate chief notes that since 2022, about 70% of over 50 billion pesos allotted for DepEd's computerization program was not used, which is why Congress is cracking down on agency utilization to make sure the funds are actually used. But Senator Amy Marcos has her reservations if there are available funds that could plug the budget gaps.
Yes, that's correct. In the event na may savings, pwede naman dagdagan. Pero it's a big if. May savings ba talaga?
For Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Ontiveros, she cited the fund reductions to education as among the reasons she voted against the final approval of the 2025 budget. Former Senator Panfilo Lacson insists that the Constitution is categorical. Education should be the highest budgetary priority. Lacson says the bicameral panel can fix the problems even in just one day if it so desires. House lawmakers have differing views.
Kapag nadala na yan sa Malacanang, line item veto lang ang pwedeng gawin ni Presidente. Hindi siya pwedeng magbago-bago ng amount kasi bawal yon sa Constitution. Pinaka-solusyon na nakikita namin dyan, hindi pa naman na ibibigay sa executive kay Presidente, ay ibalik sa BICAM at ibalik itong mga kinaltas.
I don't think there's any need for us to reconvene as a BICAM because we've already ratified it in both chambers, so in both the Senate and in both the House. So we're very satisfied with the versions. Agencies always want to have more.
This congressman came up with data to prove that the combined education budget at 1.055 trillion is better than the DPWH's 1.033 trillion. However, he did not include convergence projects worth over 82 million pesos.
Ang sinasabi lang naman natin is pag in-add mo rin kasi talaga yung budget no for the entire education sector, mas malaki pa rin yung yung budget ng education sector kaysa sa DPWH.
Meanwhile, progressive groups picketed the House to protest what they call pork barrel insertions. Former Senate President Franklin Drilon explains how this could have happened.
In the version of the BICAM today, there is the total of 288 billion pesos added to the DPWH budget. DPWH, when the President submitted its budget, had an 825 billion allocation for its projects. After it went through Congress, tumaas ito ng 1,113 billion pesos. What they did was to get the appropriation of the other agencies in order to provide funding for the pork barrel. Where did they get it? 10 billion from the DepEd, 50 billion from the 4-piece program, 74 billion from the subsidy of PhilHealth.
Presidential son and senior deputy majority leader Sandro Marcos expresses support for his father's decision on the budget.
President is my father. I support him in whatever he says and whatever he hopes to achieve.
The president previously vowed to restore the funds that were cut, though it remains unclear how he intends to do that. RG Cruz, ABS-CBN News.
Two skills shows how things are judged differently in society. One skill uses money, showing how some people care more about wealth. The other uses kilograms, showing fairness and real value. This highlights how society often values money more than hard work and quality.
The politician looks neat and powerful, representing leaders who seem successful because of their appearance. But even with all his money, his products aren't fresh, showing that his wealth and promises aren't good as they seem.
The farmer stands for the hardworking people who grow our food and keep society going. He may not look rich or powerful, but his fresh products show the real value of honesty, effort, and dedication. The politician's products aren't fresh, even though he has a lot of money. This shows that money can't buy true quality. On the other hand, the farmer's fresh goods prove that hard work leads to better results, even without wealth. The drawing shows how unfair society can be. People in power may look successful, but their contributions aren't always valuable. Meanwhile, hardworking people like farmers provide real value, but are often ignored or underappreciated. It's a reminder to value hard work and honesty over wealth and appearances.
Focused on helping these Filipinos.
Tulad ngayon, tingin ko dito, sa lugar na to, ang farmer, konting-konti na lang eh.
Sa bukid lang ho ako nagpipirming magtrabaho. Baka mga 5 taon pa yan, wala nang sasakayin dito. Puro mga makapabrika na dyan, umalis na.
Hirap ka, pawis, dugo.
Talagang sa kabataan niya yun. Madalang naglalabas sa bukid, mga takot sa araw, mga mainitan. Yung mga kabataan niya, mga magpapakinis ng ng mga mukha, ba't nilalabas yan?
And yung mga bata, mga anak nila, wala naman sa farming eh. Sa iba nagtatrabaho eh. So wala na mag-continue nun. For example, ngayon, kung walang foundation, walang gusto mag-initiate, ano ang future ng farming? Kung mag-iisip tayo, parang, ano ba ang future ng farming? Wala eh. Walang mag-i-initiate, walang magmo-modernize, wala. Ang future ng farming, mamamatay ang magsasaka, walang bata magtutuloy. Yun ang future. Sure yun. In 30 years, yun na yun.
Halos wala na rin sa mga anak ng mga magsasaka ang gustong sumunod sa mga yapak nila.
Itinuturing ang Pilipinas bilang isang bansang sagana sa agrikultura.
Dahil laganap pa rin ang gutom sa bansa. Natatakot ang Department of Agrarian Reform sa posibleng food shortage kung magpatuloy ito.
No way to earn a living to feed.
Bitin kapag walang-wala na sa budget.
The province is expecting to lose at least half its crops.
The problem is obvious. No more people to farm the land. No more crops to harvest. No more food on the table. Hunger